Welcome to LoveBytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites. Hey everybody, and welcome to LoveBytes. Today we have our guest Simon, aka Shippendale, from chat as our lovely guest. How are you doing today, Simon?
I'm doing fine, just a little cold, so my voice will be a little different than usual, but I hang in there.
Good. Now, before we get too deep into this, tell me, what are you qualified to do this show? Are you an expert on relationships?
I am not an expert on relationships.
Are you a therapist?
I am not a therapist.
Do you have a medical degree?
I do not.
Okay, so to be clear, you and I, neither of us have any qualifications to dispense romantic advice.
Right.
Awesome. That's exactly how this should be done. So, first question from, they didn't sign it, so we're just going to say anonymous user. A few months back, I was hanging out with my ex. We broke up years ago, and I never really got over her. She told me she still loved me, and that her life hasn't been right since she left me. I got super clingy hardcore over the next few days, and I wound up pushing her away again. I took her rejection pretty hard, so I sort of hulked out on her door as I was leaving, and I haven't talked to her since. I'm still not over her. Should I just walk away? She's the only person I've ever loved. Shippendale, what do we do?
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
That is some complicated question, man.
Yes. Yes, it is. And now you are
Yes.
responsible for answering it.
I mean, seriously?
Seriously.
Yeah. I think... How to say this?
It's been
You gotta... You mean, you rejected her twice? You rejected her twice?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean...
they broke up. Well, we broke up years ago.
Yeah. And he was like...
And then a few months
Still not
ago,
over?
they were hanging out. And she said, I still love you, and my life hasn't been right since you left me. No, since I left you. She says to him, I love you, and my life hasn't been right since I left you. And then the next few days, he got super clingy and pushed her away and broke up with her. And I
If he got clingy, why did he...
Well,
break up?
relationships are crazy and emotions are complicated,
Absolutely.
This stuff can be hard to deal with. I took her rejection pretty hard, and I hulked out on her door, and I haven't talked to her since. This was a few months ago. You're still not over her. All right. I would say if you're gonna give it another shot with this girl, you should do it now, and you should walk up to her and be like, "Sweetheart, I love you more than anything. You are the wind beneath my wings. You are the ground, the rocks beneath my feet, blah, blah, blah. But we have some serious issues that we need to talk about. So before we can even think about getting back into a relationship, we need to seriously work out some of these issues. And tell her that you want to be with her, but that you are not willing to be with her until you can sort things out. You gotta step up and be an adult here. And you gotta be like, all right, let's take a couple months. Give yourself more time than you think you need, because if you actually like her and you really do want to be with her, then why would you ever half-ass anything? Take a couple months, sort out your issues, and while you're sorting things out, you'll get closer, and after things are sorted out, then you can be like, it's time, baby, I want you again, and go for it. But it sounds like you guys have some pretty intense stuff going on here that you need to air out, and you guys need to be on the same footing. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, if they're so... It's like... as you say, they really have to take some time to really think this one through, I think, because if there's been some that kind of tension in the past and they're not really feeling, I mean, this is the guy thinks she's the only one for him, and she said that she wanted that she loves him too, but
Mm-hmm.
like I think you're I think you're right when you say they have to take some real time to just figure shit out and just, you know, get to experience that thing. Maybe do something special that they both like. Maybe try to get some common ground and just, sort out this feeling. It's gonna take a while. Definitely gonna take a while, and hopefully they can like go back to where things was before it got complicated.
Yeah, that'd be
But
nice.
I'm, I mean, that'd be really nice. But I think it seems a little,
Yeah, yeah. This is a
yeah,
difficult. This is
very
a hard
complicated.
one.
It seems very hard to actually go back together. I would probably try and give up. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably try and actually, I have like tried to get back together several times. Like, I don't know.
Getting back together a few times doesn't work. Just say screw it and try and move on.
You know,
Abandon the
depends if
ship.
it's if they have really have that strong feel. Sure, just try again, but sort it out first because I think they got some issues they really have to
Yeah.
deal with.
As people in chat are mentioning, I would also fix the door. But I assume it's been a couple of months. The door is already fixed. But if it's not, it's kind of a nice gesture. Whatever. Well, let's move on to the next one because we have quite a few questions. And if you guys want to send in more questions, I mean, email at koibu@regalgoblins.com. If we can't get to them today, we'll get to them next week. Next question. I have had a crush on a girl since high school. I'm 26 and she's 23, which means she was a freshman when you were a senior. All right, that's fine. She recently joined the Navy, and I've decided I want to write her and such. But I'm having a hard time finding out the right things to say or how to even really express my interest. I'm a bit of an introvert, and this stuff is hard. How do I do this? I am just lost when it comes to love and relationships. I know this question is probably something you get quite often, and while I'm watching tonight, you will probably answer similar to I like this girl, but I don't know how to express it questions. However, any advice is welcome. Thank you, Brian. Well, Brian, you are lucky that today's guest is Shippendale, the master of writing things to other people regarding love and romance and sex. Shippendale, you are actually very well known for your writing of these things. In fact, that's why your name is Shippendale. You are a master with words. Tell us, what does he say to this girl who he's pined for if he's 26, like 8
Is it
years
unrequited?
apparently, or he says he had a crush on
So
her.
she. Hmm?
He says he's had a crush on her. So I get the feeling that he likes her. He never told her. And now that she's going off to the Navy, he wants to tell her how much he likes her while she goes off.
Okay.
How do you do it?
I think the best thing is though to not do what I do in this situation, perhaps, and just because that would probably involve writing a lot of dirty words. Just try to appeal to her. I don't know, more
Probably not.
crazier side, but I think that he should probably just be frank with her. But he said he was an introvert, so how to get the feelings across? Hmm. Well,
Hmm.
first and foremost, he probably should introduce himself if he like never have before. It should be probably a good thing to.
Introduce your.
Hello, I am insert name here.
Hello, my name is Brian. We went to high school together. I sat behind you
Yeah,
in this class. I've had a crush on you for 8 years. Have fun in the Navy.
and something in between.
Yeah.
You got like part 1 and 3 very good,
Uh
but
huh.
like the part 2 is like
All right. Well, how do you fix part two?
Probably just say as it is. It's been, say, admiring her from afar, quote, quote, stalker. Not really, maybe, but, you know, I think his best bet is to just be honest, but it's going to have to, because how long do you actually spend in the Navy? I mean, how many years is that?
I think you minimum 4.
Minimum 4 years. So, I mean, he's not going to be able to see this girl. I
Oh no,
mean,
I'm getting the
no,
impression this is the sort of like, you're
he
leaving. I'm never going to see you again, but I
he
want you
needs
to know.
closure.
Yeah, yeah. He's trying to like let her know what's going on so he can feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can't like have all these feelings bottled up.
Mm-mm.
So I think the best bet is be honest. Try to tell her how you feel. Try not to be too creepy with your words. Like I've seen you across the yards. Like my you should not write. Oh, and my highlight of the day is to watch you like writing or something in the classroom or whatever. Should probably just say as it is. You had a crush on her. You you know she's going up to the Navy. She probably won't. She doesn't know your name. Doesn't know your face. But I mean, yeah, and it probably will not. 4 years.
Yeah.
If you feel that you would, if it's for closure, just be honest and lay down your feelings. I mean, try and think about it. I mean, doesn't have to be rushed. I mean, they still get mail to the Navy, don't they? I mean, they
Very.
can
Yeah.
get
Yeah. That's the one thing
like,
our military does well is it gets our soldiers their packages and their mail very.
yeah. Don't rush it. She's going to be gone for 4 years. You can take your time to lay down your feelings and just fight it. You doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't have to be just avoid the crazy stuff.
Yeah. Hmm. I would say like what is important to you that she know? If it's important that she knows that you've had this feelings about her and it makes a difference in your life and that sort of thing, then I would start by just jotting down, like writing ideas about what's important to you that she know. Just list the things. Don't write it in a letter. Just write down. Okay, it's important that she knows that I liked her. Why is that important? Because this. Okay, it's important that she knows this. It's important that she knows. Like you get those on paper, and then I would. Hmm. Like what? Hmm.
Yeah,
The
hard is
important.
it?
Yeah, the important thing is that this is like a closure letter.
Yeah,
So you don't have to worry about what she's going to say back because she's going to be in the Navy. She may not get the message for a little while. She may get it and not be able to write back because if she's going to the Navy, she's probably going to be in some sort of like training. She may not be able to respond for weeks or months. She may never be able to respond. She may not want to respond, blah, blah. So when you write this, don't worry about what her response is going to be. Don't worry about like her being freaked out or creeped out. This is like you're writing this so you can get closure with the issue. So write what you need to write in order to feel good about yourself, and then try and not to feel good about yourself, but in order to get that closure, you tell her what you need to tell her, and write it in a way that just kind of simply explains anything. Don't if you try and like word it too carefully to protect her, it's going to sound kind of it'll come off a little bit creepy. But if you just say, "Hey, cards on the table. I really really liked you in high school, and I've kind of had a crush on you since then. We like we'll chat, we'll bump into each other here and there. I'll see you on Facebook, and I've always just our what little has been of our relationship has been really important to me, and I just wanted you to know that before you go off into the Navy. I don't expect anything back from you. I just simply wanted to tell you how important you were to me, and then just do that. Like I had a friend, I'm not going to name any names, who moved away and there was a girl that he was really into and kept trying to like go after but it wasn't working and she wasn't having any of it, but she was super important to him. And so before he moved, he pulled her aside and told her some things, and she was kind of like a little awkwarded out by it, but it made him feel like 10,000 times better. And he was just like, hey, you're really important to me, you mean so much, blah 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 blah. It was like a 1 minute conversation, maybe 90-second conversation, and it was good for him. It was interesting, if not a little bit awkward for her, and then that was the end of it. And it was great,
Yeah.
and things have been fine since then. So just be honest with yourself, and then be honest to her, because that's usually how you get closure.
Yeah. And don't pussy out.
Yeah, don't
Do
pussy
it.
out. Don't be a little
Yeah.
bitch. Just write the letter.
Yeah.
It's important. Okay. Question number 3. Hey, Neil and guest. I have a friend that I met about 4 years ago. We talk almost every day, and she has the tendency to poke and grab at me occasionally, and it seems like she likes me. She's pretty nice and sweet and has an amazing smile, but I do not really know how to get something started with her without making her feel weird or uncomfortable. Mainly, I wouldn't mind having an actual relationship with her, but the last thing I want to do is hurt anyone. Please help.
So she's been grabbing at him. I
She's
like.
poking and grabbing. Sounds like there's some like physical flirting
Uh,
going on.
yeah.
They
I
talk
mean,
almost every day, and they've met 4 months ago.
I mean, to me, it seems she's obviously interested, but he doesn't know how to really start it up. Doesn't know how to express. I mean, which is awkward. I mean, he has one foot in already.
All right. Yeah, you got. That's a good point. You've got 1 foot in. She already likes you.
Yeah.
Uh, if you're if you can't muster the balls to straight up say something, which is legitimate, not it's fucking hard to talk to girls. Are you kidding me? It's really hard to talk to girls. They're crazy. They're so crazy. I mean, not like insane crazy, but like how I sympathize where you're
Women
coming from,
crazy.
buddy. I get it. It's hard to talk to girls. Um, if you can't talk to her, then if she's pokey and grabby with you, be pokey and grabby back with her. If you guys invite her to hang out more often, maybe hang out more in the evenings. I don't know how old you are. If you guys are of a legal drinking limit age, alcohol is a social lubricant. It helps with these things. I'm not saying go out and get trash, but a drink or two is
I mean,
nice.
loosen up a little.
There's a reason that everyone, like every society in the world, drinks. It is a social lubricant. It helps with those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Do not go and get super drunk. If you get trashed with her, then you're going to be like, "Baby, I love you," and then it's gonna be really
It's
awkward
gonna be
and
awkward.
really uncomfortable if she doesn't feel it back.
Yeah.
So, 1 drink, 2 drinks, 3 drinks, whatever is like a nice. Just don't get drunk, but
Yeah.
you know, if you're feeling it, it's probably too much. Is what I'm trying to say. Keep it minimal,
Mhm. Yeah.
and
I mean,
hang out in the evenings.
do
Do what.
something that she. I mean, ask about her interest. To like maybe surprise her with something. You know, with what you like, and maybe take her out to some, I don't know, cinema, skiing park, or I know, just something that classifies as a little bit romantic, I guess. So maybe, you know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Do
I
some
mean,
nonverbal communication here. You don't have to say you like her. Show that you
yeah,
like her. You
hmm
know, start acting in that way, and then if she responds well and continues acting in that way, then you're like, oh yeah, she totally likes me, because now we're being super flirty all the time, and she's super flirty with me,
yeah,
and then you're in, and then you can just be like, then you can do the once you're at that point, you can be like, well, you make some sort of joke about making out with her, and then she'll be like, yeah, totally, we should do that, and you're like, yeah, and then she'll be like, yeah, and then you do it, and then you make out, and then it's great. Or you make a joke about making out, and she laughs in your face and say, ha ha ha, that's silly, and walks away, and then you're just friends.
maybe start holding hands first. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
how you guys work. Do what you got to do, but I would do the nonverbal communication for a while so you can gauge where she is better. Because especially if she's already doing the like nonverbal, pokey, grabby, flirty stuff, then flirt back.
yeah, she's obviously showing affection towards you, so
Mm-hmm.
go for it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, okay, did we answer that
I,
to the
I
best of our abilities?
I'm solid with it. You solid with it?
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Looking back at my dating history, I more than once maneuvered myself into relationships with the girlfriends of my male friends. I brought them to show their affection for me, and sorry, I brought them to show their affection for me and actually seek out exclusive FaceTime with me. The time they gave me, and But the time with them gave me an extra kick, I guess. But then again, the paladin soul of mine kicked in, and eventually I made it a rule to not actively push any further and let the other party make the next step or stay close friends, longingly looking at each other over the fence, so to speak, e.g., wrestling on her couch with her on top and then stopping for a long look and not kissing the end. Neil, help. What the hell is wrong with me? Clearly I'm the worst. What do you guys think? I'm kind of confused by that. I read the words, I didn't really understand
There
what they
was
meant.
a lot of, I mean, laying on the couch wrestling. I mean, sounds like.
That sounds really. Looking back, I more than once maneuvered myself into relationships with the girlfriend friends.
Ooh. So there's some.
And the paladin soul of you is kicking you, and then you're not allowed to push it further. I don't really understand what you're saying. Are you saying that you're like hitting on and like being with your male friends' girlfriends? If that's the case, what the fuck are you doing? Stop! You're an
Yeah,
asshole. What
exactly.
the hell's wrong with you?
Paladin soul. I mean, really?
Really?
Yeah.
That sound.
If it was ex-girlfriend, I mean, I would
Everything's
still be cautious. I mean, not really. I'd be wary, but I mean, your your one of your friend's girlfriends. Are you kidding me? Never. That would be such a douchey thing.
Yeah, I don't have. The only thing I can think of is maybe this is a female friend. No, I don't. What the hell?
Oh,
Stop hit.
oh,
I can't see, but even if you're a female, you shouldn't be making out with your male friends because it says what gets me here is more than once I've maneuvered myself into a relationship with the girlfriends of my male friends. If it's just said with my friends' girlfriends, it makes it sound like a guy. But if you say the girlfriends of my male friends, it makes it almost sound like you're a girl doing this. But I
yeah.
don't really know.
That still, that doesn't matter. I mean, still, I mean, betraying your friend.
Yeah, Neil, okay, help. What the hell is wrong with me? Clearly, I'm the worst. What do you guys think? Yes, you're the worst. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop. What the? Don't do that. You're a bad person. You're a bad friend. Jesus.
you're a bad person. I might write fan fictions about you.
Yeah. I think. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Or girl.
Or I don't know the female of bro, but yeah, exactly.
Broette,
Broette.
I guess. Do that.
Doodad, broette. Yeah. All right. All right, this one's a long one, but also the font size is way too big. Hi, Neil and guest. I'm not sure if this will count as a really love bites thing, but I'm just looking for general life tips, with some of which include relationship stuff. Hope it's not too difficult to read. I am 18, and my very first relationship started in October 2012 when I was still at school. Everything went well up to the point where exams came up for the end of June 2013, and she broke up with me. Bitch.
Oh,
During this time, my best friend, who had also got a girlfriend around the same time, kept saying to me that I was doing too much for this girl and that things would fall apart. I just said, no, everything's going great. I'm really chuffed. Chuffed? I don't know what that means. Chuffed
but
with this girl. What did you know? Do you know what it means? Is it a UK
shut.
term?
Nah, no.
Chuffed. I'm really chuffed with this girl.
Uh, let me check that up. Shut.
But as time went on, even my parents started having doubts. Things were working, and there were fights with both me, my parents, and my best friend. In hindsight, I was giving this girl everything: money, feelings, and security, and she just gave me affection. But I felt like that was enough, having never been in a proper relationship. When we broke up, I said, "Fine, get over it. I've got exams to deal with." And anyway, and we were still hanging out as friends. But my parents felt that I was still giving her all these things, and we should have some downtime, and said that she was toying with me. There is not a single period in this sentence. It just goes on and on and on.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
and we should have some
I
downtime. And what?
Yeah, I looked up chuffed. Urban Dictionary says extremely happy. I don't know. I
Please,
cannot
happy.
trust.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess.
I'm.
But don't trust Urban Dictionary.
It's fine. I'll believe it for now. Makes sense in terms. So I was still giving her all these things, and we should have some downtime. And said that she was toying with me, as at the time she just started going out with another person. She was discussing her relationship with him with me, and it got really low, especially when she's talked about all the types of sex they were having, and it made me feel inadequate. I got to the point of me thinking that nothing in my life was ever going to work out. General depression stuff. we're more like acquaintances now, but sometimes I feel like I could have handled things differently or some other thing. Also, was it really right for my parents to get involved, or were they overprotective? Also, was my ex
What
being
did they do?
the parents were just like, no, you should break up with her. She's no good
Uh,
for you. Get rid of her. Um, also, was my ex being a dick and using me as I played really good and proper? At this point, I'd like to say, due in no small part to my situation, I feel like I'm growing away more and more from my parents and away from all but one of my friends that I had really just wanted to move away and start anew as I feel myself. My job prospects and relationships are stagnating and just at home. Again, another run-on sentence that makes it impossible to understand. All
can
right.
can I just say I think he needs. I think love is his. I mean, is his least of his worries right now. I think he needs some really good therapy. I mean, uh,
Yeah, this girl.
growing.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Good. No, go go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this girl seems to have fucked you up. She was bad for you, dude. And push the girl away. Get rid of her. Like you were super nice. You gave her everything. You gave her money. You gave her affection. You gave her support and everything she did, and she treated you like trash. She's like, I know you like her, and I know you feel really strongly about her, but you need to look at this from the perspective of an outsider, and try and get some perspective of where things are going. You like maybe once upon a time you could have done something that maybe would have gotten the things relationship better. Maybe you could have at the beginning not been such a pushover and not given her everything for nothing. But even so, if do you really want to be with the type of person who will take advantage of you and then dump you and then like talk to you about how she's having all this great sex with this other guy? That she's
If you're a
awful.
masochist, I guess.
Yeah, this
But
is awful. Screw her. Your
yeah,
parents
this
were
is
totally
just
right. I mean,
appalling.
yeah, your parents were trying to be like, she's no good for you. Well, they were fucking right. She was no good for
Yeah.
you. And it sucks when your parents know more than you and they tell you, and now you feel embarrassed about it because your parents were right. But
Yeah, you don't want to listen to your parents, but deep down, they're right.
apparently they were right this time.
Yeah,
So, like, why would you put your parent? You're going to be with your parents for the rest of your life or rest of their life. Like,
yeah.
don't push your parents away. Don't push your friends away. She was awful to you. She was terrible. What do you do? Hang out with your best friend was totally right. See, here's my theory on friends. I'm going to ramble for a little. I'm sorry, Shippendale.
Go ahead.
A good friend will have your back. A good friend will support you in everything you do, and he'll never say an unkind thing to you. He will always be there to support you and encourage you. A best friend will tell you you're being a fucking dumbass when you're being a fucking dumbass. He will try and prevent you from doing things that are going to be bad for you. It's like you've got the best friend is here, or a good friend is here. A best friend, they will try and stop you from doing stupid things. This guy who's like, hey, she's no good for you, what the fuck are you doing? Sounds like a best friend. He's a fucking keeper. He was looking out for you here. He never, unless he actually sabotaged things, which is bullshit. But if he's actually trying to, help you out with things, and he was right, don't be bitter and just be like, no, I don't like you because you were right about this and blah, blah, blah. No, he's
Yeah,
your
that's
best
the
friend.
worst thing
He
you
was
can
there
do.
for you. Stick with your friends, stick with your family. You need to like drop the girl. Don't be acquaintances with her. Cut her out of your life. Defriend her from Facebook, defriend her from Friendster, defriend her from whatever other social networking groups you can possibly have. Don't talk to her anymore. Get rid of she's terrible. Leave her away. Move on. She's a bitch. Kind of. Simon.
I think you covered it.
Oh.
I can just, uh, I mean, just I can just say like, you don't push your parents, don't push your friends away, don't bother with this girl. I mean, she's bad for you.
Yeah,
I think you covered that nicely.
she sounds awful.
Yeah.
Totally awful. All right. We are at halftime. We're going to take a quick break so we can, discuss things and blah, blah, blah. If you have any more questions, please send them to koibu@regalgoblins.com, and we will do our best to answer your questions. See you guys soon.